Hi, welcome to our talk on inspecting the geographical representativeness of images from text-to-image models. While these models have a lot of tremendous capabilities of generating zero-shot images, they are shown to be exhibiting harmful biases. For example, in these examples, you can see that these models, these generations are biased towards certain genders, races, cultures, and so on. In this work, we focus on the often overlooked aspect of geographical inclusivity. As an example, we can look at this prompt, high definition image of a house, and we want to see that given these two popular models, DALL-E 2 and Stable Diffusion, what do the content of the generated images depict? Are the houses over-representing the houses from certain parts of the world? Or in other words, are they under-representing certain parts of the world? Why is this concept so important? Because text-to-image generations can be used for data augmentations. And when we combine generated images with the original ones, where the original ones themselves are biased, if the generated images are also biased, that leads to amplification, right? Similarly, it can lead to unpleasant user experience when a user who lives in this sort of a surrounding generates images that are completely different from where she lives in, and that leads to a lot of dissatisfaction. In order to measure geographical representativeness, we generate images of common nouns like city, beach, house, and so on, and we reach out to crowd workers from a certain country C, and we show them images in two ways. Half of these images are generated by prompts that do not specify any location or country name in them, and the other half is generated by prompting to the models that you have to generate images only specific to this certain country C. Then we take these images and we ask the crowd workers how well does the automatically generated image of this particular noun, say house, reflect the houses or nouns in your surroundings in country C, suppose India, and we ask them to rate the images on a 5-point Likert scale from 1 to 5, where 1 represents not at all and 5 represents to a great extent. In this way, we reach out to 27 countries from around the world, where for each country we have 20 participants. To measure this, we aggregate the scores country-wise for both the models DALL-E 2 and Stable Diffusion. And in this slide, we depict the scores for the images that were generated without any country name in the prompt. And we find that for these unspecified cases, only 2 countries from the 27 that we select are able to cross the 3-point mark for both the models. All the other countries have a score below 3, and some of them, like here and here, even have scores below 2. This shows that yes, the generated images do overrepresent certain parts of the world and underrepresent certain other parts of the world. When we include the country name in the prompt, we can see that the scores increase for both the cases as given by these green bars. However, for DALL-E 2, the increase is much more as compared to Stable Diffusion. But you can see that even for DALL-E 2, only 3 or 4 countries cross this 4-point mark, right? Which shows that there's a lot of scope for improvement for both the models, even after you include the country name in the prompt. Then we look at the relationship between the photorealism of the generated images and this geographical representativeness. And we find that both are positively correlated. This correlation increases for DALL-E 2 for the country-specific images. However, counterintuitively, the correlation reduces for Stable Diffusion for the prompts that specify the country name. We also attempt to automatically estimate geographical representativeness, and we use both a clip-based approach as well as a KNN-based approach, but we find that both methods are inadequate. So we find that estimating geographical representativeness is challenging. It requires dedicated training. Hence, we advise we find that this requires the estimation of geographical representativeness requires much more research. These are some examples where we see that this is for houses. These are the default generations without any country name in the prompt, and these are the specific generations. And we can see by carefully looking how the generations differ when you mention the country name in the prompt as compared to the default ones. We see that in this study, there's still a very low representation from the marginalized countries, and we have only looked at 10 common nouns, which is a limitation of this study. And also the granularity of this study is only countries, whereas in a single country from different cities and different states, these nouns or artifacts, they are generally known to vary. As a future work, we wish to analyze the open source training data that are available to us for the distribution of the objects and their countries. We wish to augment for the underrepresented countries in the training data as well, and also their participation of these underrepresented countries in the evaluation part has to be improved for more thorough analysis. Thank you.